on, you better raid me. One day. One day we'll get the Hassan raid. And Bad Bunny, you know you're gonna raid me. Who else? Sequisha? Yeah. I mean, you stream until like 6 a.m. my time, but one day you'll end early and raid me. Will Neff? Yep. Rubber Ninja? Yep. Who else do I follow that's pretty based? Yogscast? Yep, you're gonna raid me. Blizzbear, you're not cishet, you get a pass. Nicotine, you get a pass. Willow, you get a pass. Riverboat, you get a pass. Sharp Balloons? I'd welcome it. You're pretty based. Also, a pretty cool stream. We probably won't raid just because of the Nazis that were hanging out earlier, but we'll see.
There are full-blown groups of people who actually believe that
Will be banned from Twitter next. I would not be shocked. Surf raid for sure. Hell yeah. Chud Logic raid. Hell yeah. Although Surfs have a little bit of shit against, just because of their whole debate bro shit that they do. Also, you can make your stream 18 plus. This stream is 18 plus. Thought Slime doesn't stream on Twitch that often, but where's the report tweet? Should you want to go through and report some of his tweets, I would definitely not do so. But there is his link to his Twitter, if you would like to go check it for some reason.
masculinity in
Also, chat, as an update, boobs are coming along. Like, earlier, I was just like aware that like my nipples were a thing. Like, they just like exist. Which is a thing that I was like not aware of before, which is interesting.
itself is synonymous with like violence and war. Blech.
Last year, the American Psychological Association released guidelines for psychological practice with boys and men that trash traditional masculinity as leading to, quote, aggression and violence as a means to resolve interpersonal conflict.
Nice, yeah. When we become a booby streamer, what do you guys think? Should I become a booby streamer? Would you guys... Oh, are we doing Jackbox on Thursday? This is news to me. I have nipple. Yeah, like, it's weird. Like, that's what it's happened. It's like, I am now like aware that I have nipples. Like before I was like, yeah, I know I have nipples, but like now I'm just like consciously aware that I have nipples, if that's like a good way to explain it, because it's just like they stick out more. Like, it's fine. I don't know if you could really see just because I have like just a t-shirt on. But like, yeah, booby stream, but it's just like they just stick out more than they ever did before. And it's just like you should utilize booby stream. I will definitely do like a booby stream at some point. Tell you what, if we hit 1,000 followers, I'll get a kiddie pool and I'll do a hot tub stream. HRT can be magical sometimes, yeah. I don't know how much I'll end up with in terms of boob, but like to be honest, as long as I end up with like a B cup, I'll be happy. Anything above like anything like D cup and above, I'm looking at a breast reduction. Because like what do I do with it at that point? It's just like it's too much. Boob culture. We're playing Jackbox on stream this week at Phasmo. Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, also, it would be fun to do like a. Going to tell Morgan she'll make it happen. That's so fucking true. I'm surprised Morgan wasn't here today.
Here's where it gets confusing. Bozos, who believe that gender is immutable and unchangeable, also tend to believe that allowing people to express their gender identity or recognizing them as the identity
practice with boys and men that trash traditional masculinity.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, everyone says it's Phasmo but good. I have heard a different tale about this game. I've heard this game is even buggier than Phasmophobia. I watched watch the Oxcast play it. She's really based. I really like her. I'm not 100% sure on the rest of them, but like I know on average the Yogscast pretty based. But here I've heard it is quite buggy. Here, if this is just like a good like playthrough, like little gameplay video, and these people are really cool and funny. Especially Boba. I love Boba. He's so cool. I want her to go out with me on like one date, please. Just one date, Boba. I will pay for it. Boba. Here's her Twitch, if you would like it. Go follow her. I recommend. She's very cool.
What's happening, y'all?
As leading to, quote, aggression and violence as a means to resolve interpersonal conflict.
Some people think that being a man is all about violence. That's disgusting. There should be a different, more positive view of masculinity. To associate masculinity with violence is, frankly, toxic. It's a toxic
check my lipstick.
Men are being feminized. The characteristics which make them men.
Al said they'd be a little late for Jackbox on Thursday, but it's still playing. Okay, sounds good. Hey, look. That's not a bad pause face. Not a great one. Not a bad one. It's probably how Morgan feels. Yeah, true. Which is why I can't be upset when Morgan does the S wording. Because I can't say the S word because it's banned on Twitch. The SIMP word. But meanwhile, bitch, whore, and the R slur are still perfectly fine to say on Twitch. But yeah, which is why like I'm cool. I don't know, like my brain still just has like that like people complimenting me and like being attracted to me. My brain just goes nah. My brain just doesn't know how to handle it. I see something scary on stage. Actually, that would be stage right. Xanderus. Simple. Or squirrels in your pants.
Men are being taken away.
Depending on who you ask, the feminization of men is either harmful, weakening our society, or suppressing innate biological tendencies, or it's successfully uncovering and rooting out toxic traits in men and manhood. It's either a
Those words as well have been bad. Have been banned from Twitch because they upset the cis white men, but bitch, whore, many other things. Perfectly fine.
significant negative problem or a welcome byproduct of blurring gender roles and stereotypes.
Strong, aggressive competitors are demonized for their alleged toxicity.
So men who are heterosexual.
What is this? Andres, it didn't link properly. Andres? It did not link properly, so I have to do effort. Oh, I was told that stage left is from the audience perspective. Interesting. I was told that stage left was from the audience perspective.
Strong, aggressive competitors are no longer an acceptable part of society. Not really. They're the problem.
That's men. Strong, aggressive competitors, as opposed to women.
And the cis headset. Agreed. I just got a bunch of lipstick all over my pop filter. For a joke. You better appreciate it. Fucking losers.
Women who are weak and passive and do not compete.
Perspective. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, also chat. I got my fencing stuff. I have my fencing saber and my glove. They're in my room, my bedroom. But
which is why men get all the coolest jobs and make more money, because they're more competitive.
I've said that there are biological differences.
I have said that there are biological differences. Hello. I have said that there are biological differences between the genders because I don't understand anything. Hello, my name is Jordan Peterson. I like to suckle my own penis every night because I'm only allowed meat in my mouth, and that is what I do. I put my own meat in my mouth for the subsequent understanding of ejaculation through to the contact of oral nerves to genitals. And hello, Storm. How are you doing?
Between men and women that express themselves in temperament and in occupational choice, and that any attempt to enforce equality of outcome is unwarranted and ill-advised as a consequence.
Now, look, sure, there was some mild, light oppression of women in the past. They were a little bit forced to be domestic slaves. Nowadays, though, just being a man is unacceptable. They've literally made a man.
Why do women hate you, Jordan? Well, that's because I speak the truth. I am Jordan Peterson, of course. And I think that women need to understand that they have their place, and that place is below Kermit the Frog, and of course below me. And they need to be the nurturing and stay at home in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. The power was too much. Okay. Kermit the transphobe. I mean, that's basically Jordan Peterson.
Manhood illegal.
I believe that there's a danger in our society at the moment of making the assumption that our culture, for example, is a tyrannical patriarchy, which it is in some small part, and that any active engagement on the part of young men in particular is indistinguishable from an unacceptable power and dominance drive, which I don't believe.
Jordan the Frog? Let's see. Another famous K-Gen clip. Hello. I have said that there are biological differences between the genders because I don't understand anything. Hello, my name is Jordan Peterson. I like to suckle my own penis every night because I'm only allowed meat in my mouth, and that is what I do. I put my own meat in my mouth for the subsequent understanding of ejaculation through to the contact of oral nerves to genitals. Is that the sound of my hair hitting my mic? Because I do this. Do you guys hear that all the time? And you still watch me? What the fuck? I need a fucking sound thing. I need a sound thing, like for my mic to go into, because this mic is an XLR mic, and I need to go mic to soundboard thing to computer, because right now it just goes mic to XLR. So chat. We've heard worse things. I hear nothing but you. Ugh, God. I need better audio.
So,
pretty privilege. Oh man, if only I had pretty privilege.
As we've learned, whatever it means to be a man is being destroyed forever, obviously. But what is that?
Yes.
Wikipedia defines a man as an adult male human. That's so like a guy or a dude. Not terribly helpful. Dracula defines a man as
a miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Frankly, both of these definitions are lacking. And in the latter case, I would actually say that the words are as empty as Dracula's soul, and mankind ill needs a savior such as him. There are two schools of thought with regards to what it means to be a man. Some people believe that manhood is a purely biological term. For simplicity,
You do. Shh. Ignore that. Ignore the chatters who say that.
Simplicity's sake, I will call this group bozos. According to bozos, there is no distinction between gender identity and biological sex. They are synonymous and also, and this part is important, unalterable. They believe that by reading a person's genitalia, you can determine their future personality, a form of scrying based on dicks and balls and vaginas rather than tea leaves or chicken bones. Bozos also tend to believe...
I think I just watched this video. Like, I think fairly recently, I got high and watched like the first 6 minutes of this.
That biological sex is binary. There are men and there are women and there's nothing in between. Which means they tend to dismiss intersex people out of hand, to imply intersex people are either statistically irrelevant or lean enough in one of the two binary directions that they can be comfortably sorted into one of the two neat little categories bozos are comfortable with. Both of these assumptions are unfounded and lead to horrible problems for intersex people, such as involuntary corrective surgeries. Furthermore, this often puts intersex people in the uncomfortable position of being used as rhetorical weapons in the fight between bozos and less shitty people. While their specific concerns and needs are left unaddressed and unconsidered, I myself have fallen into this lazy way of thinking in the past. The other school of thought, which I will call everyone cool...
Wait, hold on, chat. Chat, look. I'm famous on Twitter. Look at the 2 replies I have to this tweet. Bad Bunny and Hannah Reloaded. Yeah, I've been on a thought slime binge. which made it even worse. Because when Mildred showed up and they saw my recommended and it's like half thought slime videos. Alright, let's go to like a non-thought slime video. Oh, this one's gonna be all like... But there were like, when they showed up, there were like 4 thought slime videos recommended at the top. And I was like, listen, you know what? I've been binging your content. Deal with it. Really? Oh, God damn it. So, alright, there's a... There's a bug. I don't think we can get rid of the so-called corrective surgery without ending circumcision. Yeah, circumcision. Maybe don't do it. And like, some people are like, oh, but it's like, it's hygienic. I'm like, then just fucking clean your dick. Not that hard. Just like learn how to fucking clean it. A couple of my friends are uncircumcised. They haven't had any issues. Just go whoop and give it a little wipe. Yeah, whatever. I won't put that in. But that same weirdo from earlier also like weirdly stalks Bad Bunny. But this, god damn it, I'm on like all kinds of like weird like attention, not attention, but like I don't know, just like I don't know, Twitch fame, internet fame, I guess. But like the two, sorry, I'm gonna. I'm just gonna save that for later because like it's weird just to have like these two relatively famous people, like relatively big people. Let's see. It doesn't. Oh, here we go. I guess I can just. Hannah has 20,000, almost 20,000 followers on Twitter. Nicole has almost 17,000 followers on Twitter. Like, these are the first two people to reply to my tweet. And it's just, like, mind-blowing.
For simplicity's sake, views manhood as a collection of signifiers. Everyone cool believes that gender is a culturally defined collection of traits that is mutable and flexible. Irrespective of whatever shit goes down with your body chemistry or skull shape or whatever, that you have an internal view of yourself that may align with any...
So, hell yeah. Storm has a good point. Just stop touching people's genitals if they can't or don't consent. Just don't touch people's pee-pees if they don't want you to.
None of the ways in which gender is expressed in your culture. And just as people should be free to get whatever haircut they want, or wear whatever clothes they want, or do whatever job they want, they should be free to express their gender in whatever way they find personally fulfilling. This is not particularly groundbreaking analysis. You know this shit. Okay, now, here's where it gets confusing.
And written are part of me to understand what they're going through. Like cool people. And this is, yeah, and Judania. And when we say like stuff like ban the cishets, we're not saying like unironically ban every cishet person. It's just like it's just a joke amongst the gays. This was before they came out as Mildred, but after they came out as non-binary. But yeah, there are definitely a lot of good people. You seem like a good person. Jake is a good cishet. Bad Bunny, who we were talking about before he replied to my tweet, is a good cishet. Yeah, Xandris is a good cishet. Yeah, and I hope you can be a good ally to your friend's kid, and hopefully your friend is a good person who will be a good parent. And if they have any questions, I don't know how old their kid is, but if their kid is old enough to come hang out here, or if your friend has questions, or your friend's kid has questions that your friend wants to relay to me, if that makes sense, you can feel free to ask them, and I will try my best to help out. This video that I thought was going to take maybe like half an hour tops is taking like an hour.
Bozos, who believe that gender is immutable and unchangeable, also tend to believe that allowing people to express their gender identity or recognizing them as the identity they prefer is somehow an attempt to destroy or vilify one of the two immutable and unchangeable ways.
Maybe not. That's like teetering on if this chat's a good place for them to hang out. I'm a degenerate. I'll admit it. Maybe 13 is the minimum on Twitch, yeah. And this channel is just set to adult only, just because like of the stuff we cover, but yeah.
That it is possible to be a person. So, for example, to call someone they believe is biologically female he or Mr. is incorrect. Which, I mean, why? The words he and Mr. aren't like etched into that person's bones. It's not biological. Should make no difference. If indeed this were a complaint about biology. The only way it could make a difference is if the way that we express gender is culturally defined. That is the only situation in which an attempt by any culture to change the way that men behave would make any sense whatsoever, and in any other circumstance it would not only be a failure, but a ridiculous, impossible task, like trying to make hot into cold. If men are biologically men, and that biology is immutable, how could men be feminized? What would that even mean? Surely if men are doing something, it is by definition masculine in this worldview. Masculine means manlike, and if
you can't play mature games on Twitch. Yeah, I know there's like, if a game shows nudity, you can't show that. Blood and gore they seem to be okay with, but showing nudity in a game? Not allowed.
If you are immutably and ineffably male, and you're doing it, it's a male-like thing to do. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because in order to make the argument that men are being feminized or that masculinity is under attack, you must therefore concede that what it means to be a man can change. If it can't, then how could men be feminized? And if those signifiers can change and aren't just some immutable, unchangeable facet of one's biology, it stands to reason that some people who are labeled men may not be comfortable with the assumed signifiers you are attaching to them. And what's more, the people on the bozo side of the argument tend to be conservatoids, by and large. Not always, sadly. We have our fair share of bozos on the left, but, you know, mostly. And a conservative's whole thing, like the thing they like, is supposed to be that they want people to have individual freedoms, to allow people to do whatever they want, free of state or societal control. No one can impose their will upon you. But on this issue...
Yeah, but largely as a whole, like, it wouldn't be pornographic if I were to be like, here is how my HRT is progressing in terms of my tits. I couldn't show that. That wouldn't be allowed. But yeah, like, I couldn't just be like, here's how my nipples look now. I was tempted to, like, make an Instagram and like just start posting like pictures of my tits and see at what point do I get banned from Instagram. Just to see like at what point have I like been qualified as like having lady titties. Have you tried? No, because I don't want to risk it. Tell you what, Storm, give me like I don't know, because I don't know where Twitch is gonna go. If it picks up, I don't want to have to like find out like, oh, I ruined it and got banned. That's real life though, not maybe, I don't know. We're taking too long.
They tend to wave that away and argue that it's better for society if traditional, and therefore natural, gender roles are protected. Protected here meaning enforced. That strikes me as the type of collectivism they despise among leftists, except, you know, premised on hateful nonsense instead of desire to help people. To allow any sort of non-compliance with the system of gender they have decided is the only acceptable one is to deliberately destroy their version of gender, because for it to exist, it has to be the only one. It's important to keep in mind that they're not advocating simply for people being allowed to conform to traditional gender roles if they want to, something nobody disputes, but rather that allowing any alternative in and of itself is an act of aggression against their social order. To request tolerance is to be intolerant of their need to be intolerant. That's why they think it's okay to think of you as a gender you don't identify with, but it's not okay for you to think of them as a bigot because of it, because that's an attempt to silence them. Now, jokes aside, neither the people that I have labeled bozos, or conservatives in general, I suppose, are dummies, necessarily. This contradiction has occurred to them, and they have found a way to resolve the cognitive dissonance. You see, they're the underdogs. The trans lobby are the overdogs. They've won the culture war, and now their goal is to eliminate traditional expressions of gender.
No games listed as mature, and Annie Atomics seems to have been banned. Yet again, I don't know what Annie Atomics means. Does that mean like educational boobies?
Forever, and force everyone to switch genders for some reason. Men will become women, women will become men, drag queens will begin to wear cargo shorts, and somehow all of this really fucks up video games in particular. Why, if they don't fight off these ideologues, their way of life will disappear forever. Can you imagine what that would be like for them? Forced to comply with gendered expectations that make them feel uncomfortable? Can you imagine? Can you imagine how scary that must be? For them? I was watching The Servants the other day, and they had a video about two of my favorite
Hannah and I watched this stream together. Or watched like part of it. Look, KF Logan. He's a little... She's a trans hot tub streamer. Oh, I think I might have heard of her. I think somebody might have mentioned her. But KF Logan, maybe not fantastic, because he had due to the action of Chuds brigading her. Surprise, surprise. I wouldn't be shocked if eventually, at some point, I get a ban because of that. Hopefully, if it happens, it'll be temporary. It's very heavy pseudoscience and sorry.
Guys, Sargon of Akkad and Jeremy the Quartering Hamblow, claiming that a popular YouTuber who came out as trans did so for validation. And I'm not going to say who they're talking about because she watches my videos and I don't want her to have to deal with the emotional, it's just, I don't want to fuck up her day.
You know, it's very obvious he was comfortable in his gender. He looked comfortable in his gender. And then something...
Oh, was it maybe... Not country. Philosophy 2, maybe? I don't know. I forget.
You know, so he starts getting popular on Twitter, and then in 2020, he changed his mind, and now he's come out as trans. And you see the tweet with like 260,000 likes.
And oh boy, oh geez, oh gosh. On a certain level, what they're saying makes a little bit of sense if you ignore most of the world. I'm in a very similar position to the person they're talking about.
Katrina, we literally had somebody say that same thing. The weird Nazi who always shows up at one point was like, isn't it weird that Pride Month is July? And they put a bunch of U's. It's pretty cringe.
A lot of my audience is trans or otherwise gender nonconforming because, you know, I treat...
That's me. They're talking about me.
...them like human beings, and that is unfortunately a rare quality, so they like to watch my videos. But I'm in a little bit of a different position too, because I'm not a closeted trans woman, I'm an out, gender-fluid sack of potatoes. And I do receive a lot of validation when I express gender feelings, or present more femininely than I typically do. On social media, not in real life, where doing so actually makes things a lot more dangerous and fraught with interminable...
And they should get a hobby.
Bullshit. It ups my odds of being murdered significantly, which, I mean, you know, they weren't that high to begin with, but still, I try to keep them very low. It puts a target on my back.
Oh, is that just a typo?
From hate groups, but I mean, also, that one doesn't really apply to me either because I go out of my way to do that anyway. That's part of my job. It would mean potentially losing contact with some friends or family.
Oh, June. Listen. I've told you many times I'm a dum-dum. You gotta... It is June. You are right. I am just a dum-dum. Don't judge me. Wait, what the hell happened? Streamlabs fucked up, and apparently we've only been streaming for 43 minutes. Apparently something happened. Our stream restarted, I guess.
Family members, it would mean forever dealing with the fallout of knowing that some people would rather lose me than accept me for the person that I feel that I am. It harms job prospects and housing prospects. Not to mention, it's humiliating to stumble my way through a gender presentation that I haven't been conditioned to wear gracefully since childhood. To have to learn to dress appropriately, groom myself appropriately, and carry myself appropriately, knowing that I am judged and ridiculed for it. Knowing that if I fail to live up to other people's standards, they'll claim I'm pretending. And if I go too far past their standards, they'll accuse me of enforcing stereotypes. And that's not even getting into...
Stream crashed a little bit ago. I guess so. I guess it did. I did not notice. I'm sorry.
What life is like for people who want to transition in ways that have been medicalized. All the barriers, red tape, and institutional neglect that come along with wanting to change the way your body looks and feels. The probing impositions of doctors who think they know whether your feelings are
also Liza. Chatter's fine.
legitimate or not better than you do. Not to mention also there's a terrifying rise in anti-trans legislation in the United States and the UK and plenty of other places. And the ways that trans people have been criminalized and demonized for as long as I can remember. The ever-present trans panic that convinces outsiders that all trans people are predators in waiting, that their inclusion in your space paves the way for other degeneracies and sexual immoralities. Oh, also, the psychological baggage of being told you're one thing your entire life, and that thing comes with a set of assumptions about your personality and behavior that if you fail to live up to, you are a bad person and a failure. Everything from whether or not you're allowed to cry, to what books are acceptable to read, to what colors it's okay to find visually pleasing. Every authority figure you've ever known, from your school teachers, to your religious leaders, to your parents, to your boss, to every single media personality you've ever seen, telling you that if you fail to act in accordance with the standards that have been selected for you, you are to be mocked and scorned and removed from polite society until your behavior is corrected. But on the other hand, you have the potential to get more likes on Instagram, so it's hard to say whether there's more pressure one way or the other. Couldn't tell you. Trans people famously have an easy time on social media where they are universally treated with respect and admiration. And as an influencer, my career would skyrocket.
Don't touch
Why, just look at how Jim Stephanie Sterling has exploded in popularity ever since they came out. Truly, it is a cheat code for success.
And I need to push back against the sub-losses here, not because it explicitly matters on its own, but because it puts pay to the ridiculous idea that people transition for the sake of their careers, because Jesus fucking Christ, do you know what a ridiculously stupid career move that would be for me? But of course, those who have never met a trans person or care to learn a single thing about what they face love to suggest it's really easy to come out and then let the so-called internet points roll in because it'll boost your career. Newsflash, you fucking idiots. Trans people are in trouble. And anybody coming out visibly these days is asking to have their career opportunities limited and their experience of prejudice sharply increased.
And honestly, this topic makes me quite mad. Because I do yearn to present differently, but there's so much fear and societal pressure wrapped up in that. And these chuckle dicks pretend like the social pressure goes the opposite way, as though being traditionally masculine is demonized, and there isn't an enormous social control apparatus bearing down on us at all times, demanding that we conform to their standards, that we live the way they think is correct, no matter how restricting and arbitrary we find it to be. But I live a sort of double life anyway. Most of the time I am Matthew, normal, boring guy who talks about skateboarding way more than he actually skateboards. But also, I am Thought Slime, D-list faux leftist celebrity who also, by coincidence, talks about skateboarding way more than he actually does it. My identity is neatly bisected into guy I am in the world and person I choose to be online where I work. And I can be anyone online. I don't have to conform to the same social pressures online that I have to everywhere else. I think I'll be someone else for a while. I'm on a journey. I'm not good at this yet. I'm discovering where the line is for me also. I'm gonna go by the name Mildred, at least for a while. It's a goofy name, but I'm a goofy person, so that suits me. Plus, it kind of sounds like mildew, which fits the whole slime thing, you know? Hey, you're probably wondering at this point, are they going to address the fact they got a big cut on their chin? I forgot. I forgot to mention that I did fall off my skateboard and hit my chin very...
I was wondering how that got there, because before this, it was still there, and they had a beard, so it's not like they, were in a rush and goofed up shaving. Which, not gonna judge, it happens, you goof up. But it was there when the beard was there. And wow, here's the moment.
Badly against a bench. So that's what that's about. I don't care what you call me. My pronouns are the same, which are just, whatever pronouns you got lying around. I'm not fancy. And nobody has the right to get mad at other people on my behalf for calling me anything different. I do not care, and I do not require anyone else's acceptance or permission. I think it's clear that there's no war on men. Nobody's making men become more feminine. If anything, some people who are labeled men are being forced not to become more feminine. And as we discover that we alone have autonomy over our bodies and identities, some people are willing to go to war to keep that right from us. To which I think there is only one mature response. Let's rumble, motherfuckers! Who wants a taste? You think you can change my gender identity? Face me in the ring, coward! I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Hello and happy Pride Month.
We are just ending because it's way too late. Braver than people that take gunfire? Take gunfire for oil companies? Yes. Hello. Let's check out the eyeball zone.
From the eyeball zone. Here in the eyeball...
Which I am still worried, even though I sent the email, instead of gay followers. Oh no.
Zone time works differently, and this bit was...
And it may happen sooner than I thought if I get in the eyeball zone. Because that's a lot of viewers.
Wasn't written for a video to get posted last week. It's merely that time moves differently in the eyeball zone than in your... Here in the eyeball zone, we have followed suit from several other evil faceless entities and stolen the language of...
I am sick? No, I feel okay. Please explain how I am sick. And please explain how... So are you saying trans people are not brave? Is that what you are implying with said statement?
Tried to convince you of our benevolence, but we don't fucking make it hard for queer people to get loans and then slap a rainbow on our logo for a month and act like we're heroes.
I spelled people wrong, and none of you fucking told me this.
Longtime members
stream,
of the Goo Crew might have noticed I have a fondness for psychedelic drugs. But uh-oh, that space is getting filled up by all sorts of hateful...
You're fine, Morgan. It was a bit of a mess. Our Nazi friend follow-botted us. And that is a regular thing that I have to put up with as a trans woman. I have to deal with a Nazi who shows up all the time. As well as just transphobes all the time. And legislation that wants to take my rights away. These are things I have to deal with all the time. So please, are you saying that trans people are not brave? If so, please explain it. And also, please respond a little quicker. You're real slow.
Goobers. Even channels that I used to like platform some real, actual turd guys. Interbeing Art does a better job of gently calling people into the conversation than I would ever do, and discussing the ways that the psychedelic community can marginalize some voices and make people feel unwelcome. They also tend to provide an intersectional approach to talking about psychedelics that is sorely lacking into space. Trust me.
No, I've never had a dream where my dick falls off. I've had a dream where I lose fingers, arms, teeth, toes, a dream where, like, I could see all the way down from, like, the cuticle on my toe, like, all the way down to where, like, my toe connects to my foot. I could see, like, in that gap between the skin and the bone. I could see in there. It was a real bizarre dream. I've had dreams where my teeth just turn into powder. This bun is braver than the truth. Look at him. Braving. Braving that carpet. What a brave bun.
Me, if you've ever tried to research psychedelics, as I have, a lot of the things you find are from guys like Joe Rogan or Jordan Peterson, and that shouldn't be that way. Anyway, that's it from the Eyeball Zone. No more Eyeball Zone this week. That's all of it. So, if you have a small leftist project you'd like to see featured, hello and welcome to the Son of the Eyeball Zone. Sometimes I want to highlight projects that do not fit the purview of the regular Eyeball Zone, and rather than take space from smaller creators, I have created this subspace. Today is my birthday, June 25th. That's the day this video is posted in the Eyeball Zone time zone. How embarrassing for you. You didn't get me anything. That's okay, you can make it up to me. My pal Tristan, who runs the channel Step Back, does not have 100,000 subscribers, and I would like him to, please. Please give Tristan 100,000 subscribers, at least.
Joey family, they were understandably concerned. I rarely address my genitals in dreams. Sometimes I will have dreams that are like cinematic in the way that they are like their camera angles. I am not me. Like, I'm not looking at the dream through like my eyes. I am looking at the dream through a camera. And the camera is filming a movie. So like there will be like shots and like camera angles and cuts, and it'll cut to different scenes. Like, I remember like specifically like there's one scene where it was like this like witch or whatever was like controlling this thing, and that like weird monster thing she was controlling was fighting some other thing in one place, and it would occasionally cut over to her like doing the controlling of it, and then it would cut back to the fight like a movie would. It was wild. It was crazy. It was real fun. And I guess her transphobe friend got real upset that I did not get real upset. And ran away. You have a lot of cinematic dreams too. It's interesting. Oh, shit.
Eyeball Zone, send me no more than one email to thoughtslimeeditor@gmail.com with the word eyeballs somewhere in the subject line and pertinent details such as your pronouns. And perhaps you will find yourself trapped here in the Eyeball Zone. You probably didn't notice this, but this video was delayed a week because of tech problems and embarrassment at how bad keep in mind, the way my makeup looks in this video, the first time I did it, it was too embarrassing to show. And I showed it this time. So you have to imagine how bad it was before that I didn't want to show it. But this time I did. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so fucking subscribe already. I don't know. I'm not.
All right. Let's see. I don't. I don't think. Do I wanna raid someone? Do I wanna raid someone? God, it's so late. Nose itchy. One that fell off. You used to have a penis eraser you took to school? That's fucking hilarious. I don't know. I don't know if I want to raid someone just because we had a significant amount of Nazis here earlier. And before I go, make it Colossus is streaming. Thank you, thank you. Colossus. I don't know how to. I spelt it wrong. Is that Colossus? That is Colossus.
America too movie, but we never thought to go to America or go to Europe because we were happy in Kabul.
Pretty salty that American media only ever showed us.
Oh yeah, you might not want to read if you're yeah.
Afghanistan, but never the before.
Yeah,
you're gonna see why that is. I think it's because the U.S. didn't have much reason to even be involved in Afghanistan up until a historical point. We'll show here.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go over to Colossus's stream. If you want to do like a soft raid over there of like the people who are cool.
The destruction and the
war.
But
I'm just gonna end it just because I don't want to risk bringing a bunch of chuds over. So
history in school.
I will be over there for a while.
Of course, we thought Afghans are very brave people, you know.
Yeah, it was yikesy. I got like 200 followers from like follower bot.
And like was something very far away from us.
Yeah, it looks like at least like a decent chunk of them are already
Middle East is a dirty, undeveloped wasteland. Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
Thanks, Fishing. Well, thank you for hanging out. Thank you again. Like I mentioned this earlier, like it's still like kind of mind blowing.
Did anyone in the chat know that Afghanistan had their own like
that like people like come and like hang out and like watch me? Like I got to like 40 something viewers naturally, pretty much last stream. And it was very impressive. Very much appreciated. And I was just kind of like going off for a little while as like how it's like mind blowing to me that like people show up and watch me and all that stuff. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for the subbies and the follows and the bits and all that. Very much appreciated. I will see you all next time. And go head over to Colossus's stream. If you would like to continue watching stuff. Listen, I'm not gonna raid because I just don't want to bring chuds.
Yeah, so was I, Jalen. I watched
just because I had some really bad ones.
I gotta finish this on stream.
Bye bye, chatters.
There's just so much knowledge.
Thank you, Morgan.
Account.